Yeah, and it seems that we will have the standard 1-1-2 lanes coming in with Annie as well as Caitlyn in the bot lane going to go up against BB as well as Jay. So let's just see who's going to be the aggressor here. You were saying that Wallens can abuse the range of Caitlyn to actually kind of bully out BB. So let's just see if that will happen. And in the top lane, we're going to have XXF dealing with Archie, in which you predicted, oh, we actually have the pause coming in. So maybe it's a little bit of connectivity problems. Goldens has just have to leave the game, maybe some issue with his computer itself. But I was talking about the XXF and Archie or Aki matchup, the Shen up against the Renekton. You were saying that Renekton should do better. So we'll just see if that actually happens.
Right, we have to find some way to correct with him, whether it's Archie or Aki.
Yeah.
I think for most part it should be called Aki, but just
one day when he comes.
One day.
If he comes, right? We'll personally ask him.
Yeah. We'll make sure we rectify it and give him some justice on which is his
preferred pronunciation.
Which is his preferred pronunciation on what his name actually is. So between KLH and Azubu TPA, I would say TPA, they have a more solid game plan when it comes into this one, because what they always tend to do is let Morning farm up. In a sense, he's pretty similar to HQ Esports Club Westdoor in the playstyle, because Morning always likes to farm up, make sure that he has a few items in the mid game, and then after that, he will be able to do much more impact in the later team fights.
Yeah, so it seems like Golden has actually reconnected. We should see the game being unpaused very shortly, and hopefully we can go talk about the game a little bit more. So far the junglers have kind of been mirroring each other. Where do you expect Dinter to gank first?
I think traditionally he always likes to visit the top lane first, but the thing about Dinter is that if he goes onto Jarvan, then he would want to start on the red buff and then go to the blue buff and then start to snowball in the bottom lane. Because for Jarvan, that's the favorite thing about Jarvan as well, is that he can make some very sneaky movements with the flag spear combo to kind of bypass some of the ward actions as well.
Oh my goodness, Wallen's nearly stepping on those flame chompers there. So actually the aggressor coming in for the bottom lane is going to be BB, because they actually took down the wave a lot faster than what Wallen and Red Hot Race was able to do. So that pushing power coming in from BB, I think he leveled up his fish switcheroo first, changing to the fish boats, allows him to kind of make the push. And in the top lane, we actually have XXF taken down extremely low, forced to burn that flash, and as you have predicted, Dinter goes to the top lane to actually pull off that first gank. So a great gank coming in, XXF going to be playing much more safer in the top lane.
Right, very aggressive start for the Taipei Assassins indeed. So this time around, Morning forced to burn his mana pretty much very early on, and I think between Morning and Golden, even though it's quite difficult for Morning to kind of catch up to Golden because it's quite slippery to try to catch up to that Ezreal, but in a sense you have much more area control with the that ball floating around.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, Golden's is extremely slippery. Let's just see if Morning is able to actually catch him with the help of Dinter. But XXF still willing to kind of duel out the top lane, taking a lot of damage from Aki. Doesn't have the Ignite anymore, so that's just going to be that.
That's right, and I think he has to be careful when he goes for these trades as well, because XXF knows for a fact that Aki or Archie doesn't have the Ignite up. So, I mean, he could easily bait it out and go for a clutch play there.
Yeah, we actually have Tainted Ones going, the Ignite being put on to Golden. He just arcade shoots out of it, and a really close death sentence coming for Jay. So Red Hot Race, while still, saying, your death sentence is on cooldown, I can come in and hopefully go for that stun. And the play actually comes in, Red Hot Race taking a bunch of damage and nearly stepping out of flame choppers. Red Hot Race still alive there, and both BB and Jay taking a little bit too much damage in the lane. And Tainted Ones finally shows himself, just, says, don't bully my top laner. Oh my goodness, the flash shadow dash comes in. XXF taken extremely low. Will he go down? Yes, he goes down to Aki. The Siphoning Strike comes out. Will Aki actually go down? Dinter and Aki are very low. Tainted One still has a blue health. The red buff is taking, and Tainted One's taking a bunch of damage. And the counter kill coming in from Aki and Dinter, and Dinter actually waited for his cooldowns to come back up and just uses it. So a 2-for-nothing trade in the top lane. I think XXF stayed a little bit too long there.
Right, not only that, it was a very good calculation coming in from the Taipei Assassins, because they knew for a fact that it's rather difficult for them to try to run away from Tainted Ones, given the fact that he had that red buff on him, so he will be able to just stick on to his target as he pleases. But instead, they chose to turn around and pick up the counter kill onto him. So very, very good play coming in from the assassins there up in the top lane. And I mean, that will definitely secure, you know, this presence up in the top lane, and very well calculated as well.
Yeah. So those were 2 kills that the Azubu Taipei assassins will be extremely happy about, but the KLH is not out just yet because the lane farm in itself, we actually see XXF trying to catch back up as soon as possible, and AK after that kill actually went back to get the Giant's Belt.
Right, and I kind of agree with this Giant's Belt as well, because what you can do with Giant's Belt is you can just kind of sit in lane and try to use your Vorpal Blade to sustain back up when you are facing up against this Renekton pick. But he's doing quite well at this point of time, having a slight, you know, creep score advantage. And we do see Dinter lurking around in the Dragon Pit area, not too sure what he wants to pull off at this point of time, but he has to be careful there, because for Tainted Ones, the best thing about having a Nessus in the jungle is that early game Dragon possibility.
Yeah, the level 6 Dragon. Let's just see how many Q stacks he got up. He is already at 54 bonus damage. Not one of the highest amounts. The Death Sentence doesn't hit in the bot lane, so Wildlands and Red Hot Race is safe from that upcoming gank. He may see Mori get pitched out in the mid lane, but no, he just decides to walk back very simply, and XXF and Iki just gonna duke it out in top lane as usual.
I want to take a look at Dinter's items at this point of time. He has that Boots of Mobility completed already, so that just complements his, you know, right from the start aggressive playstyle that he likes to go for, because with the Boots of Mobility he would be able to roam around the map a lot more and show his presence.
Yeah, and look at him, he's so deep into the jungle. We actually forced Morning to actually come around, Golden to actually come around to, you know, lay on some pressure. The blue buff is already up. Will Dinter start to go for the counter jungle, because he does spot Tainted Ones here in the Wraith camp, so he does decide to start on the blue buff.
Right, and it's also at the point of time where he has the assault battery, so he might go for a, you know, aggressive.
That's a good steal coming in from XXF, preventing Dinter from actually taking any sort of blue buff. But of course, the best person to give the blue buff to right now is Goldust, but at least Dinter didn't get any of that at all.
Right, so a wasted counter jungle attempt per se, but like you mentioned earlier, at least they didn't, you know, transfer that blue buff to go over to Goldust in their set. So Archie now still maintaining a very healthy lead up in the top lane, and you know, I'm quite surprised given the sense, you know, like we mentioned earlier, but I guess it's primarily because of that one kill that Archie was able to have for himself. That's why he's able to come up on top.
Yeah, and actually we have here Tainted One trying to steal away the blue buff, puts down a ward and tries to, you know, go extremely deep in the jungle. But I don't think Dinter's gonna allow him to have any of that, and we see XXF and Archie kind of duking now. XXF taking a lot of damage, has to pop the Dominus just to stay in the lane itself. I think he just wants to push out that lane and go back for some more items.
Precisely, I think that's the mentality when he tried to go in for the engage there, but there is one ultimate down on the side of Kuala Lumpur Hunters, so if Dinter manages to find his way back up into the top lane, then you know, it will be a rather smooth gank for them, because the Dominus is not up and running.
Yeah, and oh my goodness, look at the amount of damage XXF is forced to take. The Vorpal Blade really hurting a lot there in that top lane. And if we actually take a look at the lane farm itself, XXF, oh my goodness, the Shadow Dash just come in, and the Slice and Dice will allow XXF to actually escape from that one. Golden's taking a little bit of damage from Morning. Morning has that blue buff, can easily spam the command attacks as well as the distance is coming in. Golden's uses the True Shot Barrage just to clear out the minion wave so that Morning doesn't put a lot of damage onto the turret.
Right, and the ball zone control, like we were talking about earlier, coming into effect, as we do see at this point of time, Morning sitting on a comfortable 20 CS advantage over his lane opponent Golden here. And I think it's a critical point of this game, because when you are running this double AD composition, as much as possible you would want to have an edge over your opponent, because if it doesn't happen, then you know your opponent will be able to outscale you, especially utility wise, because most mage tend to have that inbuilt in them.
Yeah. So I don't think the Kuala Lumpur Hunters has actually expected this. for now because I feel that they may want to start ramping it up very shortly, transition to the mid-game group together and take down the turrets as soon as possible, but of course they need to wait for XXF and the Tainted Ones to get a little bit more tanky, but it seems that XXF will be going for the Blade of the Ruin King as his first item pickup, first major item pickup at least. He does have the Dam Scepter, should be building it into a Bilgewater Cutlass soon. Let's just see what he actually goes for.
But you know, in most situations, I would call that a rather questionable build. But in this case, he does have the backup of Tainted Ones to be the front liner, so he can choose to go for a slightly more damage-focused item build. But at this point in time, we do see Red Hot Race now jumping onto Jay there, and Jay flashing right back into the action, just putting the flash on. And now Wallen's in some trouble with the zap landing onto him, and Dinter says hi to Wallens, and it does look like Wallens will go down, exit stage left.
Exit stage left indeed, and we saw in the mid lane morning actually taken down the Tainted One, so Azubu Taipei Assassins in a commanding lead with 4 kills. Red Hot Race getting in. The Dinter comes out with the Assault Battery and picks up the kill with the help of a Shadow Dash assist from Aki.
Right, we have been seeing a lot of flashy plays coming into this one.
Yeah, we're gonna go see the replay there for the kill in the mid lane. Tainted One's actually going on to morning, and I think he bit off too much that he can, you know, chew on to that point of time. The shockwave comes out, it just kills off, you know, Tainted Ones instantly.
I like the expression as well, you know, bit off more than he can chew. Just seems so apt on Nessus.
Yeah, cause he's a little doggy.
Such doggy. Much wow.
Yeah, much wow.
So this time around, we do see Taipei Assassins having a very good commanding lead at this point of time, a 3k goal advantage, just 12 minutes into this game, having that 5 kill advantage as well as that dragon pickup as well.
Yeah, so in the commanding, like I said, very strong goal lead at this point of time. I still wouldn't count KLH out just yet. They have the Best Brothers combo coming in. They're gonna get very tanky soon, I guess, once they get some of their items. And once the double AD combo comes in with the Trinity Forge as well as the Bloodthirster, which I think Wallens will be picking up as his first item, they can try to siege turrets soon, I hope.
Right, but at this point of time, Taipei Assassins getting exactly what they want at this just 12 minutes into this game, because some of the kills have gone over to Dinter, and I mean, in this perspective, it's not too bad for him to pick up some of the skill, as we do see the Shadow Dash going onto XXF there, and actually going for some dirty farming.
Yeah, and the second turret actually going down. 2 turrets, one turret in favor of the Kuala Lumpur Hunters, so something that they really want to do. We actually see Morning coming down for a rotation. Feels like he may just want to go in for that gang. They do have a wall in the Tri-Brush, so you know, they can just spot out anything very shortly. The pink wall actually goes down, like, as I was saying, sorry, they don't have a ward, so the pink wall goes down, clears out that ward there, and gonna spot out any sort of rotations coming in. Oh my goodness, I actually missed that. Death Sentence coming in, Jay taken down extremely low, and one Sightning Strike will take down Jay, plus the auto attack. So they're gonna trade support for AD carry. Wallen's not gonna be too happy about that, being caught out by that Death Sentence there.
That's right, but nevertheless, it's a 1-for-1 trade with the marksman going down to the support player. So, I mean, if in most circumstances, we would just call that worth.
I guess.
Yeah. So, okay, the reason why Kuala Lumpur Hunters are currently sitting on a turret advantage is mainly because, you know, in the past minute when we saw Archie going down to the bottom lane with the Stand United, they just left XXF the liberty to kind of farm by himself. And because of that, he was able to pick up the top lane turret.
Yeah, and it seems that Archie's gonna deal as much damage as he can. He just uses the slice to just create the distance out of the Shadow Dash range, because kind of sensing Dinter maybe waiting in the sidelines for that one. So we actually have Dinter use the Volt Breaker over the wall. XXF does spawn him out. Dinter does have the Assault and Battery, so XXF going to duke it out with Dinter. The Stand United does come in for Dinter and the Assault and Battery. XXF gonna be in a world of trouble. A great Shadow Dash comes in, allows Dinter to use the Volt Breaker to pick up the kill onto XXF.
Right, I am very impressed by Archie in this game. All his shadow dashes have been pretty much on point. You know, even with the flashy taunt and the flash play, everything has been hitting on point where he needed to be. And because of that, you know, it has been able to turn fights around. And like what we saw in the top lane, a very quick pickup for them.
Yeah, and I really like what they did. We actually had Archie come down to use the stand united onto Dinter, and Dinter waited for the opportune moment when XXF used the slice to pull off the assault and battery combo into the shadow dash that definitely secured them the kill there.
That's right, and Taipei Assassins now sitting at a position where they are very comfortable with, because small time Dinter with 4 kills secured on his end, and between Morning and BB, they're just comfortable where they're sitting.
And oh my god, the shadow dash as well as the Volt Breaker combo forces. Tainted wants to pop the Fury to Sands, just surviving that barely, and Morning takes a shot to the face by the turret. And a shockwave coming in, barrier being popped by Golden's, mitigating some of that burst damage coming out from Morning. Morning is such a beast right now with 134 farm, 1 kills, and the Unseen Unholy Grail. And as that was happening, Azubu Taipei Assassins pick up the top outer turret as well.
That's right, so it does look like at this point of time, Kuala Lumpur is forced to take a reactionary play out of this one, because you know all the lanes are kind of just suffering because of this early aggression coming in from Dinter. And I suppose if they want to try to kind of crawl themselves back into this game, they have to somewhat maintain vision control once again. But I would say at this point in time, it's quite difficult because AZB TPA very consistent with their vision control.
Yeah, and it seems that KLH really not putting their strategy into use, because as I said earlier, what we need from the double AD composition is to take objectives as fast as possible, because both AD carries will scale extremely well with gold. But it seems that Azubu Taipei Assassins has been the ones that have been picking up most of the objectives, especially with that Dragon control coming in. Now KLH wanting to siege up, this is the double AD carry composition coming in, but they have to be very fearful of Dinter. Dinter has the Spirit of Ancient Golem and the Shockwave only hitting Red Hot Rays. A little bit of an airball there. Red Hot Rays still surviving, doesn't have to burn any sort of summoner, so KLH is just going to back off from that siege attempt in the mid lane.
Right, but do you see the amount of damage Morning was able to
Oh my goodness,
out?
the super mega death rocket just barely missing Red Hot Rays there.
Right, the
So
SMD
close.
rocket.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
No. Super mega death rocket. Man it up and say the whole word.
Okay, I know it sounds impressive. I agree with you as well, but you know, sometimes when you see SMD rocket, it brings a totally different feel to the gameplay altogether.
Yeah. We'll talk about it later. Anyway, so the super mega death rocket barely missing there, so really prefer that word over SMD.
I know, I totally agree with you, because when we were talking about it in the initial stages, but I think Fish pointed out a very interesting perspective of how to pronounce it. It's called the SMD rocket. Right.
Gives a little bit more impact. I see what's there. And we actually have the cleanse being burned from BB. The stun does not manage to hit, and XXF taken very low there. So BB takes a ride on the Dark Passage. Tibbers being summoned, but to not much avail.
Right, so that's one very sad bear over at the mid lane, and you know, contrary to what we believe, it's not going to be the Blade of the Ruin King coming out from XXF right from the start. It's going to be the Ravenous Hydra instead. So he wants to kind of, you know, deter away some of this wave clearance that Archie is able to put out with some Fire Cape.
Yeah, but the fact is that, you know, XXF is a little bit far behind in terms of gold as well as items compared to Archie. Actually, Tibbers spotting out BB there, so BB's just gonna take that 50 gold, say that haha, Tibbers, you're mine, I'm just gonna take you for it. And Dinter, BB as well as Jay just gonna start off the Dragon. The second Dragon of the game will go to the Azubu Taipei Assassins, pulling their gold lead to about 7,000 gold ahead at 18 minutes into the game. So this double AD comp not really working out for KLH at all. They really want to be in the gold lead, they really want the item advantage to actually push the turrets down. So they're just gonna try to farm out as much as possible, and hopefully they can win some team fights with the double AD composition, especially if they don't get caught out by Morning. But if Morning lands an extremely good shockwave, it's gonna spell trouble for KLH.
Right, the Challenger tier shockwave, like we'll call it?
Yes, we'll call it the Challenger tier shockwave when we see it.
That's right. The reason why it's called the Challenger tier shockwave for the viewers who are not extremely familiar with, because in the past we call it the 2K Elo shockwave, but I mean, since they kind of just, you know, remove the numbers from the rank system, we will just go with the highest rank in the, you know, ladder system right now.
Yeah. So Tainted ones holding the Oracles now want to, like you said earlier, regain back the vision control that KLH so desperately needs, because Dinter has been making some exceptional picks coming into this game. He is 4-0-1, has the boots of mobility, and definitely wants to kind of just pick as many champions off as possible. So actually here we have Tainted Ones being called out against a Trash as well as a Vi. I do not think he's going to escape from that. Actually he does. He pops a Fury Descent as well as the Ghost. So Jay and Dinter doesn't want any, doesn't want to bite off any of that dog at all.
Right. I think it's also primarily because the Fury Descent just deals so much damage over time. And now Kuala Lumpur Hunters, they are the ones spotting out the position of the Taipei Assassins at this point of time. Would they choose to go in for the team fight here, as we do see Archie and XSF rolling it up in the top lane, but Archie finishing up that Renduin's Omen already, so a lot of armor on his end.
Yeah, so the Dominus being popped there, and Archie and XSF are going to deal it out in the top lane. I think Archie's going to come out ahead of this one. Hopefully XSF can escape, and that juke, the Shadow Dash hold on to Archie, very good, very patient there, waited for the flash to come out before using that Shadow Dash, and the Death Sentence coming in, a bunch of damage being taken by Wallen. Dinter now going in with the Assault Battery on top of the Stand United. The Shadow Dash comes in, double kill for Morning, and Dinter does go down to the turret. Golden's taken down very low, hopefully trying to get a kill onto Archie, isn't able to get it, and Morning picks up the triple kill, and in this time BB has been split pushing in the mid lane.
That's right, so it was the A's coming in for the Taipei Assassins there as well, and Morning securing that triple kill. So they don't even really need to go for that ball delivery system. Instead, they go for that Shen delivery system, maybe? Yeah, because
the Shen delivery system.
The Shen delivery system.
So I think there was 3 turrets being picked up in that short duration of time. The mid lane inner turret, the bottom lane inner turret, and the mid lane inhibitor turret going down in favor of the Azubu Taipei Assassins. And now they have more than a 10k gold lead. It's actually 11,000 gold.
So 11,000 gold lead, 12-2 in the advantage of the Taipei Assassins, and having that 6-2 turret count as well. So in the sense, Taipei Assassins definitely in the driving seat of this one. So it's going to be up to them to kind of throw it away, but this looks like they will not do so in the next few minutes or so.
Yeah, we'll just see what the Azubu Taipei Assassins decide to go for next. It may be Baron, but I think they are confident enough to actually, deal with that Baron as fast as possible because they're so far ahead. So we do see Dinter as well as Morning start out on that Baron. Is it going to be a 2-man Baron? BB and J will rotate down shortly. Decide not to rotate out. It is going to be that 2-man Baron. So all local hunters do not, smell this little Baron being done at all.
But it's at a very comfortable position for the Taipei Assassins as well, because the dented blows coming in from Vice kind of acts like what we call the silver bolt from Vayne as well. So they are,
the shockwave actually misses there, but the assault battery will come out, land on the Tainted One. Morning actually being taken down extremely low by XXF. The Dominus will be popped, but it seems that the one that's running away is going to be the Tainted One. Morning is unstoppable now. Red Hot Race taken out very low. BB will get excited. He's going to continue chasing, has the shield onto BB. Wallen's taken out very low. He doesn't have that super mega death rocket. Wallen's and Golden's will be the only one that's alive here. Tainted Ones will most likely go down to this. The Wither does come out. Will they decide to use a pincer move to actually take down the Tainted Ones? Dinter is going to chase Tainted Ones throughout the jungle, whereas the rest of the team, he does pop his ghost, so he's going to run away from that one. Jay as well as BB coming back. But I think what they want to do here is to actually, he's actually going to suicide to the turret. So one more shot and he gets executed. The True Shot Barrage coming in to clear some of the minion waves and try to, prevent TPA from going in for that inhibitor.
So it does look like the Sheriff Vi has failed to apprehend a criminal here today on the Garena Premier League, as Tainted One has managed to make an escape and get himself executed in the process. But at this point of time, Taipei Assassins is making full use of that numbers advantage just to take out the inhibitor, so opening a pathway for themselves in the mid lane.
Yeah, and now that you mention it, we actually have Vi, Jinx, and Caitlyn all in the same game.
Ah, right. The lore game.
Yeah, the little bit of lore coming in there, but Vi being the bad guy. Oh my goodness! And wow, that was exactly. That was a deletion right there from the Commander type dissonance and shockwave rotation coming in from Morning. Red Hot Race goes down to that one, and Azubu Taipei Assassins have taken out the middle inhibitor, and XSF goes in, taken down extremely low, and they will easily pick up that one. Dinter is now running in, wanting to get more out of that one. The true shot barrage comes in. But it seems that the Azubu Taipei Assassins are just going to steamroll down the top lane, take down the top inhibitor turret. The Super Mega Death Rocket picks up the kill onto NASA's BB, goes down very low, still alive. Wallen's taken down extremely low. Archie actually picks up the kill. BB is still alive, so only Dinter goes down in that fight. They pick up 2 inhibitor turrets as well as 4 kills. And they are not going to stop.
Right, it does look like they will be looking to close out the game extremely quickly. 3 members still alive on the side of Taipei Assassins.
So the shockwave comes into the death centers, allowing Morning to pick up the kill, and a surrender comes out from KLH, so they know that they will not come back from this